light, people, oh, whoa. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people, oh, whoa. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm hoping people can find me. I actually did a scheduled video thingy mudbobber, and somehow it got erased. And so I'm just going live. This is me. So welcome to another Monday mini medicine card reading. I hope you could find me despite my trickiness. Hi Anna! Yay! So I don't know what happened between me and YouTube. What I had the new link up and ready to go. I had all the stuff information plugged in, and that was it. Hey! Oh, it's so good to see you. I've been thinking about you, Tammy. Awesome. So we got Anna and Tammy and Sylvia. All right. So, Tiffany, hi. It's really fun. I know I'm doing something right when I come on and there's already people like, yes, yes, yes. Like I haven't even said what we're doing yet. So if there's anyone on that is new here, welcome to Monday Mini Medicine Card Readings. I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and I am going to pull some medicine cards. So, so how this works, if you're new here, I've got 2 spots left. If you would like a 1 card reading, all you need to do is say yes in the comments, and so the next 2 yeses I get in the comments get a 1 card reading. I just got 222 on the counter thingy. And my only request is that you would please share my video. I was formerly doing this on Facebook Live, and I recently, last couple of months or so, decided I needed to up my game and step outside my comfort zone, so I moved to YouTube Live, so I'm getting a whole new audience, trying to boost my voice. Hi, JK, blah, 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 JK. Would you like a card? If you want a card, just say yes. And so I'm trying to expand my influence, not so much to get, okay, JK, you are on the list. Thank you. What was I saying? It's not a matter of trying to get more followers. I just like to help people, right? And so the more people I can help, the more traditionally the shaman supports their community and the community supports the shaman. And so I am expanding my community, welcoming you all into my circle, old and new. And the more, it has nothing to do with numbers, right? Hi, Renee. Hey, there's 1 card, there's 1 place left. You want it, Renee? Anyway, so please help me expand my voice by sharing the video, especially if you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, nah, I understand. But if you enjoy my energy, awesome, Renee. All right, so we have our 6. And if you're not one of the original 6, you're still in luck. All you need to do, especially right now before we've even started, is choose a number between 1 and 6. And I promise you that whatever comes through for that card, even though it may be aimed at someone else, I promise you that your message will be interwoven into that. It's like sometimes I can feel the gears kind of shifting. I'll be talking from one aspect of that animal's medicine, and all of a sudden like some like weird tangent comes in that's probably partially why I go on so many tangents, because it's like the spirit guides are, it's like, okay, this way, okay, that way. But anyway, so yes, thank you. Welcome here. So every week I pull 6 cards, and then at the end I will pull one more card that is the community card, kind of our communal totem to accompany us through this week. And if you enjoy my work, if you've been watching me for a while, or you're new here and you just resonate with me, you getting good messages or feeling good about what I do or whatever, you would like to support your friendly neighborhood shaman. I also, well, when we're done, I will put my, I have to amend what I normally say, because I set up the video, the live video earlier today, and then it disappeared. Thanks, Renee. Thanks for sharing. And normally I have all the information there, my website, my PayPal and Venmo and all of that kind of stuff is usually up by the time I do the live, but something weird happened and it got erased. So I will put that stuff up there. But if you, this is my day job, so this is what I do for a living. And the more support I get in this work, the more I can focus on this work to have more to offer my community. So that's how it works. And I am so appreciative. Anything you wish to give. And of course, that is no obligation. This video is totally free, no obligation. Whoever you are, whatever you do, you are welcome here. So thank you for joining me. All right. I think that's it for the introductions. Alrighty, so let's get started, shall we? So card number 1. Card number 1 is for Anna, who was really quick on the draw. As soon as I started the video, it was like, yes! So, all right, card number 1 for Anna. And even if you choose like card number 4 or 5 or whatever, if you're watching this, listen to all of the cards, because the universe is always speaking to us, right? And so even if it's not technically your card, Aaliyah, yay! We've already got all 6 people, but I'm just starting, so you can choose a number 1 through 6. Glad you're here. But even if it's not technically your card, the universe is still speaking to you, and you might hear things that I say on a whole different card that make sense to you, but don't be, dang it, I wish I had that. I wish I had chosen that card because I really need that advice. If you hear it and it resonates, it's yours. Claim it, okay? All right, so card number 1. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light, people of woe. All right. Card number 1. Haha. So tonight, card number 1 is Porcupine. Porcupine. And I'm just sorry. I did like pause. I was getting like getting this kind of download. It's like this is the perfect card to start, because in a way, Porcupine is kind of like the Fool card in the Tarot, right? And that's like the first card That's the first, that's like the beginning of the hero's journey, all of that kind of stuff. And it's where you come back to full circle, right? Porcupine is basically the inner child. Porcupine is about innocence. Um, not not being naive, but being innocent. There's a difference, right? Like the Fool card, it's like Porcupine. Porcupine is totally safe, totally protected, right? Doesn't have to worry about a thing. The only animal that can actually prey on porcupine is cougar, because they're the only ones who can scoop. They can scoop underneath them with their great big paws and flip them over like a like a pancake. But that's the only animal who can actually get at a porcupine. And so he doesn't have to, he can just kind of bumble his way through the woods, look at all the shiny things, have the sense of adventure, what am I going to find next, kind of thing, because he doesn't have to be hyper vigilant about what's out there, right? And it's interesting, this is some things that have been coming to me this past week, where we always, when we have a decision to make, when we're trying to decide if we should go in one direction or the other direction, all of those things, like this heavy, like life-changing decisions, we have a tendency to take into consideration the outer conditions, right? What's the market doing? What do people think? What's trending? What if I don't? What if I can't make it? What if I don't make enough? Blah blah blah, you know. And we put these outside conditions on our joy, right? It's like, oh, well, I can't do that right now. I would love to buy a house, but the market's just not good for that right now. So I'm just going to sit back. And it's like, if you're being called to find a house, the universe is clearing your path to find a new house. Doesn't matter what the market is, doesn't matter what is the trend or what is normal. If you have a desire for something, stay in the innocence of that desire, stay in that excitement of that, like a kid on Christmas Eve, right? Oh my God, this is going to happen. And don't worry about what the market's doing, what other people are doing, what's acceptable or not, because none of that has a place in what you do and who you become. You are the spark of creation in your world. And so look at porcupine, right? If you think of each of those quills as a ray of light, right? The porcupine is a star, right? He's emitting all these rays of light. And it's that higher vibration, that light, that keeps anything from attacking him, from getting into him. And so by being in that innocence, I always say innocence is its own protection. Because when you're in that innocence, that purity, that authenticity of who you are, that's where your higher vibration is. It's not in getting down and dirty and going head to head with all the problems in your life and trying to figure them out. That lowers your frequency. But when, and it from the outside, it might look like you're all just lackadaisical and daydreamy and not realistic. It's like, well, screw that. If that is the explanation or the definition a realistic, I want nothing to do with it. I am the only thing that's real in my world. You are the only thing that's real in your world. Everything else is illusion. Everything else is reflection. Everything else is a result of who you are on the inside. That's reality, right? Like Wayne Dyer used to say, it's like, I am realistic. I expect miracles, because miracles are what happens when nature is left unfettered. When nature is left to its own devices, miracles are the natural outcome. And so, learning from our friend Porcupine, when there's something coming up, or you've got some big decision, or you're wanting something really, really bad, rather than clamping down on it, rather than protecting or trying to be safe, it's like try to find that thread of innocence, right? The innocence of the little kid in you that, that clapped to make Tinkerbell come back to life, right? Do you believe? If you believe, clap, right? We don't need to know the mechanics and the logistics of how things work. We just need to know that they do. And like was it Asimov who said that, like a more advanced technology appears to be magic to a lower technology. And so we're really using magic. We're using a higher technology. We don't have to know how it works. We just need to know that it works. Like, what was his name? I think his name was Jim Tree. He wrote a book on the sacred pipe. And one of the things he says is that if it works, it's real. And if it's real, it works. That's all you need to know, right? And so have faith. Don't stop believing. You know, I feel in my own life, I feel like really fortunate that when I was growing up, well, one of the things, I'm a cartoonist. And that's all I ever wanted to be. And hi JK. And so, like, when I would go see a new Disney film, or I would, even growing up, I was made to feel immature and weak and stupid and naive because I still believed all of those things. It's like Disney, all of those things in those old Disney movies are absolutely true. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. Law of attraction, right there. Right there. Always been there. Law of attraction. So believe in miracles. Believe that there is something more than just the nuts and bolts of physical reality. Realize that the nuts and bolts of physical reality depend on the unseen realm, right? And just start to believe. Even even in the Bible, when Jesus was talking about the mustard seed, right? The faith the size of a mustard seed is enough to grow this huge plant, tree, whatever it is, right? It just takes a little bit, right? But if you know, and it takes that. It's you are so safe. Every single person. If okay, I'm getting into an area where I what I'm saying is true and right, but it might take a while to explain it. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go there, because there is some. But you are safe. The universe loves you. The universe is safe, friendly, and abundant. And the universe wants everything that's best for you. And the universe will do everything to get you to your best self. So that when something happens, even if it's, you know, quote unquote negative, it's like, okay, the universe loves me, you know, and so this is a gift somehow. How do I use whatever this is to grow and cross that threshold to the next step? And that's not, and it's really tricky. Some of this stuff is really tricky to explain. Oh, thank you, Aaliyah. Aaliyah just put up in the comments the actual quote about the mustard seed. You know, especially since most of us came from a very tightly regimented belief system involving a very strict good and bad, right and wrong, right? And so to explain some of these things, I know a lot of people that go through that same filter of right or wrong, blah, blah, blah. And some of what I'm saying, I realize can come across in that and this is not, okay, so I start this by saying this is not meant to be offensive, but the cynical, narcissistic kind of old man in the sky that we have to please in order to find salvation because we are worthless, even though we haven't done anything, you know, is that whole, this is about, like, instead of original, as Matthew Fox put it one time, instead of original sin, we're talking about original grace. That you were not born into original sin, you were born into original grace. That is Porcupine. That is the innocence that never leaves. And no one can destroy this. This is your essence. This is who you truly, truly are at the deepest part of you, because that can't be destroyed. That's that eternal spirit of you. It can get piled over and distorted because of belief systems, because of that regimentation, all the belief systems and things that get passed down from generation to generation to generation, can all cover that over. That's why it's called awakening. That's why it's called enlightenment, because it's awakening or lighting up what is already there. It's not acquiring something out there to make you worthwhile. It's about revealing your natural worth as a being. The fact that you exist is enough. You don't have to earn grace. You don't have to earn worth. Just the fact that you are makes you worthy. And so, be that light. Be the light you want to see in the world. Believe even if no one else does, right? What is that? There's a quote by Epictetus about if you're going to succeed, you have to be content with looking foolish and stupid. Because you have to be so intent on your path, on your relationship with Creator, with the divine, than any other relationship, than anything else going on. And so it's like that saying from Nietzsche about those who couldn't hear the music thought those who were dancing were crazy. Don't let the tamed ones... How does that other saying go? It's like, stay wild. Don't let them tame you, right? This innocence of Porcupine, it's not... We have this weird virginal idea of innocence. When innocence is wild. Innocence is feral. The wild animals running around, you see the deer running through the woods. She's innocent. She's wild. The wild and innocence goes hand in hand, because you cannot be tamed. You cannot be, you can't have that taken away from you. And so be the person who wears shorts in the wintertime, or whatever you're, let your geek flag fly. Be who you are unapologetically. Because though it may look down on you for that, it's exactly what the world needs. The world needs more people living from passion, living their freedom. This is freedom, right? I shine, not burn. Exactly. Good way to put it, Leah. Shine. And that's why, like, the last thing I say before I close out the video is go shining. If nothing else, if you get nothing else from our time together, go shining. Shine your light. That's what the world needs. More than people who are going to toe the mark, follow the rules. It's like, be feral, be wild, be innocent. And we have this weird, and we have this weird idea of innocence, and how innocence needs to be protected, right? Because it's so precious, but at the same time, we make it such we make it so that innocence isn't normal, and we're trying to save that innocence from finding out what's real, when this is the only thing that is real. Living your light, living your truth, living your life the way you are called to do so, the way that makes your heart sing, that is innocence. And bringing up that Einstein quote about, the greatest decision you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one. The universe is either friendly or hostile. It's not both. It can't be both. And so if you live in a friendly universe where everything has purpose, there are no accidents, you are here for a reason, then work, and it's not about following what the universe is telling you that you have to do. Like your mission is to deny yourself to undertake this great holy quest. The holiest quest you can do is to find your own heart. That's what the universe wants you to do. The universe doesn't want you to sacrifice for some vague holy quest. The universe wants you to shine the brightest you can, to become your most beautiful, evolved, true self. And it will do everything in its power to support that growth. Okay? So I hope that helps. It was kind of long-winded, but it's something, it's something really, really close to my heart, because I try to be, looking back on all the time, growing up, and as a teenager, everything else, feeling there was something wrong with me, because I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to, I didn't agree with all these other things going on around me. I didn't, and I was a dreamer. I would daydream, and I would connect with the animals and the trees and all the other stuff. And it was like, there's something wrong with me, because this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm called. And I should be learning how to work on cars because I'm a guy, or I should be doing sports because I'm a guy. Whatever, all these expectations that are put on us. And when you can't fulfill those, like, well, what's wrong with me? It's like, nothing is wrong with you. If that's the case, like they say, if you don't fit into the world, you came here to change the world. So looking back on that past, from my perspective, I can actually, I am grateful to my yester self for, though he thought he was being weak and gullible and wishy-washy, I actually can go look back from where I am now and see how strong and stubborn in a good way that he was. How he actually stood up, like never let go of those things, right? And my dad passed away just about 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in November. And me and my dad talk more now that he's on the other side than we did when he was alive. But one of the things that he told me that was just so healing was that if he could have seen where I was coming from, what I was meant for, he would have done everything he could to support me. And he told me that I was so much stronger than he was, because I was able to weather everything he put me through with that light, that innocence still alive. And he was like, that is true strength, not bowing under the pressure to become something you're not. And so be who you are. Do not let the outside pressure change you, because there is strength in that innocence. And it's, like I said, the wild, the feral. And if it's wild, it's unpredictable. That's why people fear it. That's why men fear women being in charge, because they fear the power, and because they can only see power from the sense of control. The feminine doesn't make sense. It's uncontrollable because it's wild, right? And if it's wild, they have to fear it because they can't control it. And there's so much more. Look, I had so many tangents I could go on from there, but I'm going to leave it there so we can get on to our next card. But I hope that's helpful, Anna. So card number 2 for Tammy. Hi, Kit Kat. What you doing? Say hi to the people. This is Kira. Hi. Okay. Meow. So number 2, card number 2 is Tammy, Creatrix. Haha, awesome. So, card number 2 for Tammy is Butterfly. Love is like a butterfly. Your world, it's kind of like hold on to your hat because your world is getting ready to expand. Thank you. I love my cat too. Don't I, Missy? Tammy, get ready. Your world is about to expand. Look, like I do that. It's like the butterfly spreading its wings. You have been in, and understand me when I say that you've been in a dark place for a long time, and I don't mean that as like dark as in like necessarily depressive or anxious, although those are all probably components of it, but it's more of that dark night of the soul. Did I speak to the guy, Ghost Rider? I'm not sure which guy you're talking about. You're talking about, there was a follower, are you talking about Gage? There was a follower who disappeared. Yeah, he, I've reached out as best I could, but I haven't heard back, and I have no idea what happened to him. So, and I know he got some of his friends to watch my videos, so if anybody out there is a friend of his and knows what's going on with him, please let me know, because I have reached out. I found his email and stuff, and I've reached out, but I haven't heard anything back, so I've been kind of concerned. All I know is that there was something going on in his life, and I don't know exactly what. I think it was a health thing, but I don't know. So thank you for asking, though. If you find out anything, please let me know. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know either. I wish I did. And I've done pretty much everything I can do from my side. I don't know what else to do to. Because I don't know him. I don't even know his real name. But yeah, but I am concerned. So thank you. And just send him your prayers and your love, and ask for the highest benefit of all beings. That whatever is going on is for his and everyone's highest good. And hopefully we'll hear back from him at some point. So, thank you. Okay. Sorry about the short intermission. But so, you have been in the cocoon for a really long time, Tammy. And you know that what just occurred to me is that because I've been in that whole pattern, like dark night of the soul thing for almost a couple of years now. And I even wrote in my journal the other night, like, I thought this would be done by now, right? It's like, okay, okay, dark night of the soul, it'll last for this long and then I'll be fine. But it's like, what I realize is that when you're in that darkness, that dark night of the soul, when everything is being questioned, when old things don't seem to work the same way anymore, and all of that, being in that darkness, the womb, it's like not completely manifested, not completely realized, kind of in between, and waiting out that process for birth, right? And until it's like when you're in that dark night of the soul, you're kind of like Schrodinger's cat, right? Because until you're born, there's no solid precedent of who you are. You know, I mean, they know how healthy you are. You know, they know if you've got this or that going on or whatever. But it's kind of like until you're actually born, you could be anything. Does that make sense? It's like that darkness is that place of complete potential. And like Schrodinger's cat, right? You put the cat in the box. For those who don't know what that is, it was a thought experiment from this physicist, Schrodinger, where he said if you take a cat and put it in a box, put a vial of gas in there with the cat that had a 50% chance of breaking, and you close the box, until you open that box again, that cat is both alive and dead at the same time. And once you open the box is when that cat is fixed to one reality or the other. And so while you're in that dark night of the soul, there are so many different things coming into play and lining up and recalibrating that until you're born, you know, and even then, things are not necessarily solid. The entire world is frequency, right? Hi, Magnus. Thank you for being here. Thank you. But it's like you're finally coming out of that place. Oh, what I was going to say though is like being in that dark night of the soul, you know, with it, just like they give you what, a month or something of leave after you have a baby or something, or you know, so many weeks of grieving after a parent dies or whatever, right? We've got this, you have this much time. But when you're in that dark night of the soul, it's like non-ordinary reality, the same as when we go do a shamanic journey work, right? The clock, you know, the drum might be beating for 15 minutes, but you could have an entire lifetime of experience within that 20 minutes. Just like dream time, you can dream an entire life in 5 minutes of a dream, or vice versa. And so it's like, it might seem like it's been a long time, might seem like it's endless, but at the same time, it's exactly where you're supposed to be. It's the right time, but it's coming to a place of revealing it's that place of opening the box to see if the cat is alive or dead. But it's not so much to see if you're alive or dead, it's about seeing what color your wings are and seeing what calls to you now, because you know, caterpillar's world is this big, right? Living on the same branch its entire life. and all of a sudden you go into the cocoon, and you die, and you're reborn as a butterfly, and then you can circumnavigate the globe. So it's like coming up to like what you the going into the cocoon is dropping all of the heaviness, all the unnecessary things. So that when you come out of that, you are almost lighter than air. It's like you have no baggage. You don't have to carry all these different things with you. That's what brings, again, the freedom, the innocence. And it's because she doesn't have baggage that butterfly can fly from one end of the globe to the other end of the globe. And so it's like you've put in your time, you've been through the crucible, right? And burned off all the stuff that isn't you, all the stuff that doesn't belong to you, all the stuff that holds you down, right? Like all the things that makes the caterpillar stick to the branch, right? And voraciously eating leaves to get more weight, to get more, and that becomes that safe, sacred space, like the shell of a seed that allows the changes to happen within. And now you're at that point of pushing out of that, which is not necessarily easy. It's not just woohoo, right? It's like I'm out. If you were to open a chrysalis and let the butterfly out, the butterfly would literally die, because when it becomes the butterfly, it has this fluid in its guts, and it's pushing through the threads of that. It's the resistance of pushing the threads of that chrysalis that forces that fluid up into its wings. And so if you open the chrysalis and let the butterfly out, it won't be able to fly, and it will die. And so it's like you're at that point of initiation, that point of pushing through to the other side, which takes strength, which and commitment and dedication. But it's like that. Okay, a couple of thoughts here. It's like that saying about the seed. As protected as that seed is, at some point, staying within the shell of the seed is more painful than breaking out of it. That's where you are right now, right? And as hard as things might feel, or as confusing as things might be right now, okay, where was I? When you remember that if pressure comes from the inside out, it means life. If the pressure comes from the outside in, it means death. You think about an egg. If you step on that egg, that pressure from the outside squishes the egg, no life, death. But if it's the pressure building up from inside, and this baby chick that's growing and expanding, and eventually has to get out of the egg, and it has to expand beyond the walls of that eggshell, and so it pecks its way out, that's pressure from within. That is birth, that is growth. So you might still be in those last threads of the cocoon, pushing your way out. But if you look, you can see clear sky in front of you, and you can feel that call of the wild, that innocence, that it's not just freedom, it's liberation, right? You are born free. You are always free. But there's a different energy to liberation. It's like, it's almost orgasmic, right? It's that pressure building up, pressure, 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 and then bursts out. That's birth, right? So and okay, my guys are, I was like, what else? There's something else coming. There's something else. And this might be a general message for everyone, but how do I put this into words? It doesn't do any good. Let's see, that's not how I want to say that. You can't speak butterfly to caterpillars, right? And you can't, God, see, this is like, in explaining some of this stuff, it sounds like from the old paradigm and model of good and bad, the sound can sound kind of callous or uncaring, but the butterfly doesn't wait for the caterpillars that are left behind. She takes her liberation, she flies, she doesn't even question it, because not because they're worthless or not as valuable as she is, but because she knows that in finding her wings and her freedom, she knows it's in every single one of those other caterpillars. So she doesn't have to waste her time trying to convince the other caterpillars to get into the cocoons. She has to live her life, and in that way be the inspiration, right? If you're inspired to do something, there is so much more power there than if you are convinced to do something. If you're talked into something, right? That's the head, that's the mind. And there's probably still part of your heart going, well, I'm just gonna do this just to get them off my back or whatever. So there's no conviction, there's no upliftment. That's pressure from the outside in, not from the inside out. But when you see someone doing something, you see someone exerting and displaying their freedom and their power, that inspires, that lifts you, that inspires you to greater things for yourself. So when you become that butterfly self, don't waste your time trying to convince the caterpillars to fly. You'll do better good in showing them how it's done. Like they always say, it's like, don't go down to someone else's level, invite them up to yours. Because if you stay on that branch and try to preach to those caterpillars, all you're doing is stunting your own growth. And there's an ego thing there as well, because if you stay to preach these caterpillars to try to get them to fly, in a way you're saying that you know what's best for them. Each caterpillar has a latent butterfly inside of it. It's the natural progress of life for a caterpillar to become a butterfly. They don't need your help. They can use, you can support them, but the best way to help is to be unapologetically your innocent, wild, feral self. Because otherwise, you're actually stunting their growth because you're making something that should be natural into a mental exercise, and all you're going to do is create disciples and ones that don't believe in themselves because they believe in you, right? It's the finger pointing at the moon being mistaken for the light of the moon itself. So be the example, be the light that you want to see in the world, be the change you want to see in the world. Don't explain it, don't talk about it, just be it. Because like Sandra Ingerman always says, it's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world. Okay? Oof-da. All right, card number 3. We are like halfway through our time and I've only done 2 cards. It's going to be one of those nights. But I did actually, if you follow me on Facebook, I think I did. I went to change usually I had it from 6 to 7:30 and I actually changed it to 8 o'clock. But the internet's been really weird today. It actually canceled out a couple of things I had already done, so I'm not sure if that came through, but I finally bit the bullet and faced the fact that Monday nights usually take 2 hours, not an hour and a half. You're so welcome, Tammy. I can't wait to see what color your wings are. All right, card number 3 for Sivia. Hey, Kira. She's acting like she's starving even though I just fed her before this video. Missy, I'll feed you when I'm done, okay? You still got your dry food there. All right, so card number 3 for Sivia. Cool. Oh, this is so... Okay, because I know what's going on in your life, Sivia. It's so perfect. Card number 3 is Wolf. Talk about wild and freedom, right? Feral. Like when I think of the wilderness, I think of freedom and that, I mean, wolf is the quintessential wild animal, right? They don't follow anyone's rules. They're wild, but they have a code, right? Anyway, but wolf is the teacher. And it's everything it's like all the things I said at the end of the talk about butterfly, I could have said in relation to wolf. Because wolf is about, so if you think about, there's a kind of a general consensus that canines tend to be seen as masculine, right? Whereas, felines tend to be seen as feminine. And so you've got this divine masculine who gets his inspiration, his power from Grandmother Moon, the divine feminine. And so he is the physical manifestation of Grandmother Moon. It's that creativity, it's that balance, that perfect balance of masculine and feminine. Acting on your impulses, acting on your intuition, following your dreams. Again, kind of going back to that first card when I was talking about, like, we tend to be like, oh, this is going to be really hard. We've got to do something. Oh, this is going to be really hard because this person's like this, or the market is like that. It's going to be really hard to get these things, blah, blah, blah. And what we're doing, because we're the creator of our reality, we're creating those things as solid obstacles in our way to getting to our dreams. And we just focused on, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. Okay, universe, it's your turn. And then no matter who you would normally talk to, or what the market is doing, or, you know, the scarcity of certain things or whatever, they'll be there. The universe knows the quickest, easiest, smoothest way for these things to happen. And so we put all these obstacles in our way by thinking, well, this is the way life works, this is the way the world works, instead of focusing on ourselves, that no matter what happens, we can, it doesn't matter what the environment is like, we are okay. And that the trust goes into ourselves of being able to figure things out, to make a way where there was no way before, right? Kind of like Bruce Lee with his Jeet Kune Do, you know, it's like no way as way. He didn't follow any older traditions. He was a combination of all of them, so that his practice, his karate, kung fu, was totally in the moment. Like it totally responded to and anticipated the other people, because it came out of him, not following rules and methods, but having that open, no way as way. And so Wolf are the trailblazers, right? The community of Wolf always have scouts that go out ahead of the pack to get the lay of the land, to blaze trails, to find out where the best place is to, like, ford the stream or whatever. So they go out to find out what's out there ahead of the pack, and they come back and they let the pack know what's out there. And so this is about that, again, that wild innocence of going forward. Doesn't matter what the world is doing, doesn't matter who you encounter. How it comes out is dependent on you and how you approach it. Do you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one? There is definitely something warrior-like about that. Yes. Again, not warrior. It's like I always talk about, you know, they talk about being a spiritual warrior and that kind of thing. But it's like being a spiritual warrior. It's not about like being a superhero and seeking out the bad so you can trounce it into the ground, about seeking out evil so you can fight it. Being a spiritual warrior is about staying in your power and refusing to give. It's like holding your ground no matter what comes at you. One of my older teachers from way back compared it to being the Cheyenne had the dog soldiers, right? Yes, there's like a samurai. Yes, absolutely. It's like you stand your ground. You don't seek out the bad. You don't seek out the evil. You just hold your light and your power no matter what comes at you. And so again, you're that bridge between heaven and earth, that light. You are the divine presence in this world. That's where the warrior part comes in. And like the dog soldiers, they had these long belts that they wore that dragged on the ground, and they would, when the rival tribe was attacking, all the like the elderly and the women and children would run the other way. The dog soldiers would run toward the rivals, and they would stake out a place. Literally, they had that belt and they had a spear, and they would stick that spear through their belt into the earth. That was where they stood, and they didn't move from that spot until they were either dead or one of their warrior brothers freed them from that spot. And so it's about standing your ground, and whatever comes, you know, from a spiritual warrior point of view, it's more about transmuting that energy that's coming at, being the light, like the story. I mentioned this the other night, I think, in my video, or last week, but there's a story of the Buddha that it's just one of my favorite stories in the world, where on the eve of the Buddha finding enlightenment, he sat beneath the Bodhi tree, and he swore he would not move until he was either dead or enlightened. Sound familiar? And so he sat there. Meanwhile, all the demons were freaking out, especially the head demon. I think Mara was the name of the head demon. And they were like, if he gets enlightenment, he's going to free all these people from desire. We're not going to have anything to do. We're not going to be able to get people. So we need to keep him from enlightenment. And so they rallied their troops, and they sent flaming arrows and flaming stones and spears and every kind of instrument of mass destruction at him. But no matter what they sent at him, as soon as it hit his energy field, turned into flowers and showered at his feet. Everything that comes at you, if you are in that place, it becomes something again, friendly or hostile. Even if the world is against you, it takes two for conflict. You know, and even Jesus said, love your enemy. If you love your enemy, there's no enemy. Doesn't mean you put up with what they do, or if you're at, you know, odds of different things, you don't tolerate certain things, but you still love them, because again, it's not what you do, but who you become that changes the world. And it's the same for every person. It's not what they do, it's who they are. And every person, listen, every person on the planet is just as divine as any other person on the planet. Doesn't matter what they believe, doesn't matter what they do. Every person is divine. And that's the thing, we focus on that divinity. We don't focus on what they do. They're doing things that are harming people. We do what we can to remedy that. We do what we can to change things. But we always see as namaste, the divine in me sees the divine in you. And that goes for everybody, no exceptions. And so, getting back to Wolf, it's like, it's like the path, that whole thing about going before the pack. It's like you know it's a friendly universe, right? The forest is your friend. And so no matter what you encounter, it's a benefit, not a You know what I mean? Why can't I find the word? It's beneficial, not malignant. Um, and so there is, and so the being the warrior part of that, the only true rival you have is your own thoughts and your own beliefs. When I would go out on a vision quest, you're sitting in the woods for 3 days, right? Part of the time you sit there, it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful, this is bliss, this is just perfect, right? And you wake up the next morning and grumble, why do I have to be out here? Oh my God, I could really go for a chai. Oh my God, and what about this other stuff going on in my life? I'm just sitting here doing nothing, and all this other stuff is going on, blah, blah, blah. And the forest never changes. It's you that changes, and that experience changes because of where you are and how you're responding to your own thoughts and your own beliefs. One day isn't bad because the trees all change and look menacing. The trees are always the same. It's what you bring with you that makes the difference. And so when you bring with you that faith, that belief, that innocent feralness that won't allow itself to be trapped, that is beyond being labeled, then who knows what you're going to find. That's the adventure. That's how you break new ground. And by breaking that ground, you enable others to more boldly step out on their own, right? Like I said, like I quoted Wayne Dyer earlier about, I am realistic. I expect miracles. When you live your life as if life is a miracle, miracles happen every day. Like one of my teachers, I've talked about that, how she would wake up in the morning and say, okay, universe, I'm ready for my 3 happy surprises. And she spent her day looking for those 3, or not really necessarily looking, but being open with her radar going for those 3 happy surprises. And every day she had at least 3 happy surprises. Or, in other words, miracles, right? And a miracle doesn't stop being a miracle just because you have an explanation. Synchronicities are other people. I've been at I've had day jobs before where I remember one guy started talking about his friend, and then all of a sudden his friend called on the phone, and he freaked out. He's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "That's everyday occurrence for me. I expect that kind of thing. That is how the universe works. The universe naturally works in miracles and synchronicities." And like I told you the other night, so it's like leaving that space. You don't have to have everything figured out ahead of time. You don't have to know exactly what's going to happen or what the repercussions are going to be or any of those things, because if you're trying to control it, there's no room for miracles. Just like in basic law of attraction or creative visualization or whatever you want to call it, the steps are you visualize or set that intention of what you want, and then you let it go. You surrender. Your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen. Your job is to hold that intention, that vision of what you are desiring. And it's the universe's job to put the pieces together to make that puzzle unfold at your feet, like the yellow brick road. Okay? And give yourself Claim that strength. I mean, you're the one who mentioned the warrior thing. I wasn't even going to go there, but you are a warrior. Claim that. There is nothing, there is no situation that you can get into that you won't come out on top. And you are breaking new ground. You are going where no one has gone before. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, live long and prosper. You're welcome, Sylvia. I hope that's helpful. All right, card number 4. Card number 4 for Tiffany. Tiffany, I apologize, but every time I say your name, I start to hear, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. Beating of our hearts is the only sound. Card number 4 for Tiffany is Ant. Ant is, well, the word that goes with ant in the book that comes with this deck is patience. It's like, God, give me patience and give me it right now. But it doesn't have to be. We look at patience sometimes as a hardship, like not wanting to wait. But when, okay, how do I word this? When we know we live in a friendly universe, when we trust that everything is happening at the right timing, the right place, that we are always in the right place at the right time, and when we know that everything we desire, everything that calls to us or that we are called to is a gift from the universe guiding us in the direction we are meant to go in, then everything you need, everything you desire is already there. What's the hurry, right? Not that you just become lax and just sit back and wait for everything, but you can move through your life knowing that every step you take is a step closer to your fulfillment. Because you can take it as a given. Oh, I need to plug in my phone. Give me a moment here. Don't stop breathing. Hold on to that feeling. Sleep like people. Small intermission. Don't stop. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves some snacks. All right, we're good. Okay, what was I? I'm trying to remember now exactly where I left off. And I had this realization, and this was like way before I knew anything about metaphysics or shamanism or anything, but from a very young age, I realized, because I'm so aware of patterns and such, that whenever I needed something, I always got it. It always showed up somehow. Or if there was something I needed to be aware of, somehow I always heard about it, no matter what channels it had to come through, right? And so from that point of view, I remember getting that, like, the realization that, there were things that I really, really wanted, or I wanted things I wanted to accomplish, and all these things. And I realized that, and looking back at my life, how everything has always worked out for me, which is something I learned from my grandma. In fact, I got phone down. Sorry about that. We are not a professional video. There we go. So, if you have, we don't have, like, I don't have production quotas or whatever. Anyway, this is my life. But this is the one thing I got from my grandma when she died. This is one thing I asked for. Good morning, this is God. I will be handling all your problems. I'm trying to read it backwards. Today, I will not need your help, so relax and have a good day. That was something that just got so drilled into me from my grandma that I've always known everything always works out. Oh, I love you too, Tiffany. Thank you. Thank you, you guys. And I was, like, with that, recognizing the past and how everything had always worked out, and even the things, like even things that I wanted at the time and I didn't get, and then I found out later that it would have been detrimental. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Detrimental. That had I gotten the thing that I wanted at the time I wanted it, it would have been detrimental, right? And so not getting, like that Garth Brooks song about, okay, let me see if I can remember this. Sometimes I thank God for unanswered, I don't remember the melody, but it's like, sometimes I thank God for the unanswered prayers, right? And so seeing how everything worked, and that, like, I might be at one point and I wanted this thing, but in hindsight, I saw that I got that thing exactly when I needed it. And that I could have done all the fretting and anxiousness and worrying I wanted, but that thing was still coming. And it came exactly when I needed it. And I don't know how to put this into words. But if I knew for sure that thing was coming, if I knew everything, this is how I used to put it. If I know everything's going to be all right when such and such happens, then I can rest assured that everything is all right right now. Right? It's like we always like, well, I'll be okay, or I'll feel safe once this happens. But if you know for sure that that is going to happen, or something like my friend taught me, to, like, when you're doing manifesting and such, or doing spells, You always add at the end this or something better, because sometimes the universe has such grander ideas than we do for what we need or what would be good for us. And so, like, when you know that everything is going to work out, that by the time you get to that point, whatever that is that you need or desire, it's going to be old hat. It's just going to be passé. And you can, when you know you're going to be okay when that happens, when you know that that's going to happen, you can be okay now. Does that make sense? So it's like not getting ahead of yourself. It's about enjoying the moment, being present, which has been a really big message for me lately. You know, the present is your point of power. There's nothing you can do in the future. There's nothing you can do in the past to change anything. Right now is the only place you can change anything. And all of those feelings of shame for the past or anxiety for the future exist right here, right now. They don't exist in the future. They don't exist in the past. So right here, right now is the place to address them, right? Kind of like that whole idea of time travel, right? It's like, oh, when I travel back in time, I need to make sure I don't like step on a flower or something, because that could change the entire future. It's like, why aren't you thinking about that right now? Because you are creating the future right now. And so everything you do right now has a, you know, a bigger, what's the word I'm looking for? Not vortex. That's a V word though. Anyway, vector. That everything you do right now changes the future. So why aren't you more mindful now? You know? Right now is the place you can address those feelings of anxiety. You can sit with them and do whatever you need to do to heal them. Usually just sitting with them, acknowledging them, giving them permission to exist is enough to help them move on. Because if they're coming up to be released. And those issues coming up, you know, we tend to call it like my inner demons and that kind of thing, but it's not. That's a younger part of you making itself known, requesting the love that they didn't get back then. And so if you fight that feeling or you squash it down again, all you're doing is re-traumatizing yourself. You're perpetuating that abuse and that trauma that was visited onto you in your youth. Everything is here and now. The present is your point of power. And so address those things here and now and allow your future to unfold more harmoniously. And know that like who was I? I was watching a video by one of my favorite comic artists, Terry Moore. He does the Strangers in Paradise comic, or did. I think it's over now, but was it him? It was either him or Adam Savage from Mythbusters. I was watching them both yesterday. One of them said that when they get time, they make a list, a to-do list. And no, it was Adam Savage. Because he was talking, what he said was, we're all going to die with things on our to-do list. You're never going to finish everything. And Abraham Hicks says the same thing. It's like, you're going to die with things on your list of things to do. So be happy right here, right now, because you are never going to finish everything you're going to want to finish. So there's never that end point. And so in other words, like with Ant, it's like every step of the way is building the anthill, maintaining the anthill, right? It's a transforming, evolving, changing thing. The anthill isn't just built and then it's done. right? It's all the individual ants carrying individual pieces of leaf in there that gets the entire place fed, right? It's every step of the way. You know, the cliche of it's the journey, not the destination, right? But there is so much wisdom in that, that it's in the doing and the unfolding, moment to moment. You know, when on my first vision quest, I met one of my main guys, White Buffalo Calf Woman, and what she told me was my path was meant to be shared, which is part of the reason I do these videos, because I promised her to share my path. But when I first heard that, I was like, oh, she wants me to write a book. What can I possibly share in a book, you know? But then what hit me was I started a blog. And I did a blog. It's called, if you ever want to check it out, it's called The Golden Thread Road .blogspot.com. That's the old one. I've got a new one, but I haven't done a lot with it yet. I'm intending to, but I haven't got that far yet. But anyway, because what I realized was, and this is the essence of ant medicine, by keeping a blog, by writing down individual posts on individual days as my life unfolded, one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a book. I don't have to set out to write a book. I don't have to set out to create a book. Day by day, post by post, I now have enough material, and it's just a basic cut and paste. All these entries, sharing my path, sharing my experiences in this blog are now enough. Actually, I'm actually in the process of actually getting those together. It's actually going to be like 3 volumes, I think. But and so it's like when you just stay present in the moment, allow your path, your life to unfold day by day. All of a sudden you wake up one morning and holy crap, there's an anthill. Holy crap, there's a book. Holy crap, there's this business that I've been wanting to do all my life. So baby step by baby step, right? And also along with that is the idea that you are stronger than most people. And chances are, like kind of like what I was explaining about before with my youth and my growing up, you probably didn't feel strong. You probably were made to feel stupid and weak and vulnerable, but you were actually stronger than most people because you carried other people's stuff, right? And so with ant, it can lift, 10 times their own body weight, but they don't load themselves down. He's carrying this tiny piece of leaf, which is almost nothing, right? And so in order to pursue your own dreams, to follow your own bliss, you have to put everybody else down. And that's not being selfish. Again, like I said with the butterfly talking to the caterpillars, it's not your job to rescue people. It's not your job to convince people of their magic, of their freedom. It's more important for you to pursue your own freedom and fulfillment, right? It's that whole thing, like I mentioned in the video before, that I saw with the Buddhist monk that had the glass and the pitcher of water. And he said, this is how we think it works. He filled up the glass and he poured it out on the ground. And he filled up the glass and poured it out. He said, we think that we have to fill up our own glass so that we can dump it out for other people. And then we have to fill it back up, and then we have to dump it out. That is not how it works. This is how it's supposed to work. He started filling the glass, and filling the glass and filling the glass. Pretty soon the glass was full and overflowing with water. So all that water that he had been pouring on the ground by dumping out his cup was actually getting to the ground, but leaving his cup full. You do more good by keeping your cup full and allowing others the overflow, right? Just like an oak tree doesn't say, okay, that's enough acorns for this year, I'm done. Or an apple tree is like, okay, I've produced 100 apples, that's enough. Life keeps expanding and producing and expanding and producing. Allow yourself to be full. Because if you're weighted down by everyone else's crap, if you've got the world on your shoulders, when someone comes along that actually could use your help, you're not going to have any arms free to help boost them up where they need to be, right? And like that, one of my favorite sayings, no able-bodied adult should be carried to the top of the mountain. If you can get there under your own fuel, you should be able to get there without being carried. So take the world off your shoulders. It's not your responsibility to save or rescue anyone else. It's not your responsibility to carry other people's stuff, right? In fact, when you do so, you may actually doing more harm for them than good. Because we're all connected. So whatever is for your highest good is automatically for the highest good of everyone else. It's that non-zero sum. You know, the tide raises all ships. The better you get, the more that is available for everyone. It's not an equation with A plus B equals C, and you take A from one side, subtract A from one side, you have to add it to the other side in order to even them out. When one side increases, the other side increases. When we all do better, we all do better, okay? And I'm going to leave it there because I just looked at the clock and realized I have 20 minutes to do 2 more cards. But I hope that's helpful, Tiffany. It's like, if you need permission, I hereby give you permission to focus on your own path and your own purpose. Your only responsibility is that tiny little leaf. Because there are billions of us, each carrying our own tiny leaf. And by each of us doing our own lives, our own paths, the entire anthill gets fed, okay? So, all right, card number 5. Maybe I should have kept my thing as 7:30 because like I increased, like, okay, we're gonna be here for 2 hours. And now that I set that thing for 2 hours, I'm gonna go over the 2-hour mark. But anyway, JK, it's your turn. I know you said yes a really long time ago. I hope you're still here. You're welcome, Tiffany. I hope that helps. I feel like I could have said some other things too, but be good to yourself. Know that you are okay, that you are safe, that you are in the right place at the right time. And no matter what doesn't get done, you are still whole, you are still complete, you are still divine, you are still loved, okay? All right, JK, card number 5. All right, so 5, card number 5 for JK is Eagle in reverse. Now, reversed is not bad. That's the first thing I want to say. A lot of times, the card comes up reversed, the person, oh my God, what have I done? Nothing, you're fine. In fact, when a card comes up reversed, it doesn't mean that you are missing that particular medicine. It means that that medicine is actually there. You're just, usually you're just not lining up with it, or it's in the wings, in the wings, and hasn't blossomed yet. So I wanted to say that first, so you don't get hooked up on the idea that it was in reverse. In fact, with eagle coming up, it's kind of like that's where you're headed. It's kind of like that's the destination on your GPS. And eagle is basically great spirit, the divine presence. Rising above it all, soaring above, like I was saying, like effortlessly. Eagle doesn't flap when he gets up there. He rides those thermals, and the air, the breath of the Mother Earth, lifts him. And he does it by surrendering, opening his wings, opening his heart, you know, and that universal position of surrender, right? I surrender. So it's in that letting go and surrendering, being present. Like a friend of mine told me one time, it's like, own your space. And so eagle, by owning his space, by being fully present, taking up all the space that he is, that is his, he is lifted to the heights where he has that great perspective. He can see the entire earth laid out below him. He can see the non-linear nature of the world. He can see how everything is connected. And at the same time, with those eagle eyes, he also has the ability to lock in, to focus on something that is miles away. And so you've got that peripheral, wide view, and the ability to focus at the same time. And, you know, eagle medicine is about, it kind of, again, like, this seems to be one of the themes running through tonight's cards, that being your best unapologetically. Own your space. Take up your space. As eagle, when eagle does that, he flies, he's the one that flies out of reach, right? He's like up there. He is the inspiration of everyone who sees him. And he makes it look so easy because he's not doing anything. He's just kind of laying his arms around the shoulders of the wind and being carried. So again, it's like when eagle comes up, I like to mention like the whole what I was mentioning before about how miracles are what happen when we get out of the way. It's like the natural progression of nature is for miracles to happen. And your soul, like I said with porcupine, right? Your soul is naturally innocent. It's naturally wild. It's naturally authentic and unique. And when left alone, it naturally rises. You naturally are of a higher vibration. You don't have to like try to pressure yourself to get to a higher vibration. In fact, that's counterproductive. That actually lowers your vibration. It's releasing, it's surrendering to your higher vibration, surrendering to your greater self, to who you actually are, that you then you rise to where you're meant to be, to whatever wavelength vibration that you naturally exist at. Like a hot air balloon, right? It's releasing those tethers and releasing the sandbags and the bulk of the ballast that holds you to the ground. And when you let go of all the things that aren't a part of the balloon naturally rises. So when you're in the process, it doesn't, just because it's in reverse doesn't mean you're going the opposite way. It means that is where you're headed, that you're in the process right now of letting go of those heavy things, letting go of the ballast and realizing who you really are and embracing that pure authentic self. And the one thing my guides are telling me to mention is that, you know, Eagle doesn't get up there by fighting. There's no one to fight. You don't, to become who you are does not require fighting someone else to get there, wrestling from someone else's grasp your own worth. It's effortless, letting go. It's by working with the winds, not fighting them, right? That gets you up there. Because if you try to fight the winds, the winds will laugh at you. The winds are so much more powerful than you. If you challenge the winds and try to fight the winds, you're going to be grounded. You don't get there by fighting. You get there by surrendering. And that when I say surrender, I'm not talking power. I'm not talking about surrendering your power or or anything from you. You're not sacrificing anything. You're surrendering to the truth of your being as the co-creator of your life. Eagle is the co-creator of his flight. He couldn't do it without the air, without the winds, right? And so he works with the winds. He surrenders. He maintains his own integrity, his own sovereignty, his own strength and power. And he does so in harmony with the winds. And it's that harmony that lifts him, not fighting or resisting. So surrender to your greater self. Allow that to be your default setting, okay? All right, let's see if we can do Now I'm really pushing the limits of the, I don't know why I think I'm a little bit ADHD or whatever, and I'm time blind, and I set a time and then I always end up going over it, so thank you. I know it's been a long evening. Thank you for everyone who is still here. Let's do card number 6 for Renee, and then we'll do one more for the group. I hope you guys are getting some good answers tonight. I just talk. I never know for sure if they hit home or anything, but that's my intention anyway. If anything I say or do can lighten someone else's load or empower someone else. I always say if you come to me for a reading and you don't leave at least a little more empowered than when you got there, then I have failed at my job. So I'm hoping you all leave here tonight at least a little bit more empowered. All right. Card number 6. Renee. All right. All right, Renee, so card number 6 is Beaver in reverse. And that just kind of follows suit with everything else. Again, Beaver doesn't worry about, okay, so part of Beaver medicine is Beaver is the visionary. Beaver has these visions of what can be. And so when Beaver doesn't just see trees and bushes, he sees resources for dams and lodges. And he also has this total faith that if he has the desire to do something by just following, he's not thinking of the rest of the woods, the rest of the animals, the rest of the woodland creatures or anything. He's just following his heart. He's following his bliss. He's following his passion. And by doing so, he benefits everyone around him, right? And when he has these visions and he has these desires and these passions, he has so much faith that you know, the universe isn't going to give him these visions and desires without providing the resources with which to fulfill them, that his teeth never stop growing. It's all, I know it's kind of metaphorical, but to me it's like that's such a, what do they call that? It's like such a show of faith. It's like, my teeth will keep growing because I'm never going to run out of trees for building what I need to build. And so there's that trust. Okay, if I desire this, then the resources are there for me to fulfill it. And again, by doing what he loves, right? He creates new water features, which makes the forest more resilient in times of flood. It makes it more resilient against wildfires. It gives more, it prevents flooding. It gives more of a water source for animals who need water to be born, right? Like, you know, dragonflies and such. And gives the animals another water source with which to replenish themselves. But none of that is in his mind when he's doing it. He's just following his heart. And by following his heart, everybody benefits. So in reverse, it can be a reminder that nothing is impossible. That, again, so the important thing is to focus on your strength, your power, your relationship with Creator. That's the key. Don't worry about what the world looks like. Don't worry about what the world presents, because the right people will show up at the right time. The right circumstances will show up, will happen in the right timing. And it's just like that Joseph Campbell quote about when you follow your bliss, where there were only walls, doors will open. Because it's between you and Creator, not between you and the world. You're here to forge a whole new way of being. So your ways are not going to fit into the old ideas and rules and regulations of how to do things. You're forging a new path, right? And, you know, greater than the dam, Beaver's real pinnacle of craftsmanship is the Beaver Lodge, right? It's like there are Beaver Lodges that are the only, there's like a Beaver Lodge someplace, I don't remember where it is. but it's the only thing other than the Great Wall of China that is an artificial structure that is visible from space, right? And when Beaver makes that lodge, so in the middle of the water, the flowing, splashing, unpredictable water, he's setting this permanent structure that's in a solid foundation, unmovable. I mean, in order to get into a beaver lodge, you literally have to dynamite it. Bears can't even dig through. And so it's a shelter. It's a place of safety. In this watery, wet, unpredictable world, it's a place of stability. It's a place of love, of warmth, of love, of dryness. And it's that is who you are becoming. You are becoming that shelter. I wouldn't be surprised if you notice that more and more people are coming to you as a pillar of hope, as a pillar of strength. And because you are that shelter, you have a strength about you that others are drawn to, right? And it's like, not that you're stronger than other people, but sharing your strength with others, becoming that shelter, that lodge for others, inspires others to find that strength within themselves, right? And you're learning how to be that shelter for yourself. How to be able to retreat within yourself, right? As the temple within, the unassailable temple within you that cannot be swayed or affected by the outside world. That's your lodge. And the more you live there and the more you move from that place, the more you become that shelter and lodge for other people. And it keeps building. Again, kind of what I was saying earlier about, the shaman supports his community that supports the shaman. It's like you become that shelter, you shelter other people, that shelter builds. It's like other people become stronger in themselves, be able to shelter other people. They support you and you become a stronger and stronger person. It just keeps going and going and going and going, right? So again, don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street light people, oh, oh. Don't stop believing. Don't. There's also the fact that it's card number 22. It's an angel number. To me, I don't know what the official thing is, but twos for me, like when I see a 22 or a 222, to me it's about being in the right place at the right time. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I've given you a lot to journey on. Awesome. Yeah. Journey to your own beaver lodge. Journey to beaver. And yeah, there's a lot there. So awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Yay. All right. So let's pull our community card while I talk a little bit about myself and plug some things. So again, please share my video. You share it to other people's social media or email, or just, you can even tag people in the comments if you think there's someone that might get something out of anything I've said or whatever. help me to expand my voice. You know, the more the merrier. And if you wish to reciprocate in a different way, like I said earlier, something happened and the description didn't carry over for my video. I kind of set up the live video ahead of time, and then it just appeared on me. So, but I'm gonna put I love helping people, and anything that comes to me directly helps me be able to focus on my own path, my own lesson, my own growth, to have more to offer all of you. So thank you for that. This is my day job. This is where my money comes from, my support, my groceries, everything else, my kitties' food. And so I'm just deeply grateful for anything. And what else? And if you enjoyed my work, if you enjoyed these readings tonight, you want more than just a one card reading, you like a whole spread of cards focused on you and your path, you can visit my website at perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can learn more about me. You can see the different shamanic services I offer, readings and healings and teachings, oh my. And you can sign up for a reading right from my page, a one-on-one, or a healing. I do all kinds of shamanic healing, like soul retrievals, power animal retrieval, fairy doctoring, Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. That always gets kind of woven in to everything else. And teachings. I've got a couple classes I'm working up. Starting to feel like an old record with that, because I keep saying I'm working on them and I keep never quite getting them there. But I do have classes that I'm working on. And besides that, I also take on one-on-one mentoring students. So if you are looking for a spiritual teacher, particularly a shaman, and you don't have to be, you don't have to be wanting to become a shaman to have me as a teacher. You don't have to even know much about shamanism. It just happens to be the perspective from which I teach, because it's my path. And all I can offer as a teacher is my experiences. But I also do not create carbon copies of myself. I don't have any interest in creating clones of me. My whole interest is sharing my experience and my wisdom that I've gained over a lifetime, to help you find your own unique, individual, innocent path. So if that sounds good to you, you can also contact me through my website. Anything else? Gosh, that might be it for now. I can't think of anything else, but so let's pull this 7th card. Oh, so and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's like, oh yeah, YouTube. I forgot about YouTube. I'm just sitting here talking live on YouTube, but please subscribe and like my videos. I guess that helps other people find me as well. But I've been doing these videos for like 7 or more years. So I have a ton of videos for readings, for ceremonies, the pipe ceremony, etc. And so if you ever need a reading, if you ever need a guidance, I mean, feel free to get onto my YouTube channel, pull up one of these weekly readings, choose a card number, and see what it says. And I promise that that's the way the universe works. That you need guidance, that guidance shows up. And I promise whatever whichever card you choose, that whatever it was that I said will be what you need to hear in that moment. And I can promise that because I know that's how the universe works. Not promise that like because I'm so great and I, you know, whatever, but that's just the natural miracles and synchronicities. That is the way in which the universe works. So, all right. All right, so our community totem for this week. Ha! Frog in reverse. And this again fits in perfectly with everything else I said tonight. Frog is about cleansing. Frog is about honoring the purity of your spirit, that innocence, the porcupine where we started this evening with. We're coming full circle. And it's like frog is about initiative. It's about when things don't suit you, like you hop to another pond. If frog is at the bottom of the circle of life, right? When scientists want to know what's going on with the environment, frog is the first thing they look at. If there's any abnormalities, if the population is waning or increasing, or if they've got extra legs or whatever, you know, that's how they discovered acid rain in the 80s, was by looking at the frogs. So because frog is kind of the patron saint of empaths, in that frog doesn't actually drink water, he soaks the water in through his skin. So whatever's in the water ends up being in frog. So he requires the purest water he can find. And so there's a saying, a Native American saying, I don't know what tribe, but it's basically it's not so much where you find water, you find frog. It's where you find frog that you find water. Because frog will seek out the purest water, the source, the thing that suits him, that fits him. And so with frog in reverse, it's like it's time to step out of your comfort zones and actually seek out the people, the experiences, the things that add to your joy, that add to your fulfillment. You know, like a while back, I was thinking to myself, I was like, my life's like, why don't I have that much joy in my life? It was like, maybe because I'm not doing things that are joyful. Maybe I have to actually take the initiative and schedule things that I actually enjoy. Go and see people I love. Go to the movies. Go for walks in the woods. Whatever it is that brings me joy. If there's not enough joy in my world, it's because I'm not making space for it. And so I've consciously been making more space for joy in my life by actually doing things that I enjoy. You know, screw the whole idea of you have to deal with the cards you're dealt with, right? Like someone pointed out, I said that to someone, I think it was last weekend, and they were like, that's such a weird saying because there is no card game where you can't give cards back and get new cards. And one of my teachers who led the sacred pipe ceremony, weekly sacred pipe ceremony I used to go to, how I became a pipe carrier. At the end of those ceremonies, she always had a basket of oracle cards, and she sent them around. And we each got to pull an oracle card, and then we would read it out loud to the group. And there were a few times where she pulled a card out of the basket and was like, nope, and she put it back and she drew another card. And there were a couple times where she pulled a card and she ripped it up. She's like, nope. She ripped up that card, threw it away, and pulled another card. There are always more cards. If you don't feel like you belong somewhere, if you're feeling out of joint, out of place, find those people, those situations, those experiences that feed you. It's not about trying to fit into the universe. It's making the universe fit you. And so that is the note, going way over 2 hours. Only because I set 2 hours as my limit. But I just want to thank especially those with the perseverance who have watched all the way through. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your support. It really touches me, and it's a dream to have the opportunity and the honor to be able to do these things that I love, and to have it affect people in a positive way. There's nothing better than that. So thank you for being that. It's a circuit, right? It wouldn't work without, if one of us wasn't here, it wouldn't work. I mean, I could sit here and talk till my face turned blue, but what would be the point if it wasn't helping, right? So thank you for being there. And it's your questions, it's what you come, the energy you bring to these videos, and the guidance that you need that draws the guidance out of me. And you're not the only one who gets guidance from these. I hear myself saying things and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Oh, wait, that was something I needed to hear, right? And in fact, last week's video, like the whole video was like a giant reading for me, because everything that came through was exactly what I needed to learn. So thank you for being that reflection. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your energy and your support. And I hope you will come back next week, invite your friends. And until I see you again, oh, thank you, Sylvia. Until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and go shining. All right, bye now.